All right, so we are recording it. I want to welcome the people who came here tonight and the people online. Thanks for jumping in. In case I haven't had a chance to meet you, my name is Matthew Joseph. I'm the Assistant Superintendent of Technology and Learning. And one of our big goals this year was to create a unified communication platform. Also, we have our amazing team here. Our technology team is here with us. Amanda from our technology office, who put in countless hours to get this up and running. I know personally we wouldn't be here ready to go with our ParentSquare launch without Amanda. So thank you, Amanda. I can't thank you enough. But one of the things this year that we wanted to do and really launch this period from now until June 30th as a kind of really early access period for you to try this out, to see how that you can use this. And then starting July 1, this is going to be our main communication platform for our district. This will be the way schools communicate. This will be the way that our district communicates. And exciting update that'll happen over the summer is we'll be updating our website as well through ParentSquare. So I'm going to kind of get off of the stage for a minute because I want to turn it over to Lauren, who's going to be walking us through, and I'm going to be monitoring the chat and answering questions as well. So Lauren, I'm going to turn it over to you. I'm going to mute my computer and then man the chat.
Sounds good. Thank you so much for that introduction, and welcome everyone. For those of you who are in person and joining me online today or watching the recording later, so great to have you all here. Thank you so much for taking time out of your very busy lives to be here with me to learn more about ParentSquare. My name is Lauren Edwards, and I am one of the training specialists here at ParentSquare. I'm also a former teacher. I used to teach 3rd and 4th grades, so always very familiar with being around the classroom and students. So I do want to share these codes, QR codes here for you. So if you are interested, you can take out your phones, you can scan the QR code, depending on if you have an Android, or it'll take you to the iOS App Store, and you can download that ParentSquare app. Or of course, you can go to your app catalog and just type in ParentSquare. Either way works well. The app is incredibly convenient for you to use. We'll be exploring the app together today, but many of our parents do find that utilizing the app is the easiest and quickest way to get that information, to stay up to date, and to otherwise utilize ParentSquare. And then this is our agenda for today. So we are going to talk about what is ParentSquare, just a little overview on that. We're going to talk about some good to knows and some kind of best practices there. And then we're going to go into the platform. We're going to take a look at the browser view. In case you're ever looking at ParentSquare from the browser, we'll take a peek at basic navigation and account settings. And we'll also talk about 3 different ways to communicate in ParentSquare. So you may receive communication via posts, direct messages, and alerts and notices. So we'll talk about the difference between those. And then on the app, we're also going to look at how to interact with that communication. Now, if you have any questions, the Q&A is open for you, so please utilize that Q&A feature if you have any questions as we're going through. Now, when you are logging into ParentSquare for the first time, I do want to give you kind of an overview of what that's going to look like. So just with many apps these days, you do need to verify your contacts. We do want to make sure we're contacting the correct person. So if any of your information is incorrect or outdated, you'll need to press that edit button here. Keep in mind that it is not going to change the information on ParentSquare. So you will want to follow up with your school, let them know if any of your contact information is changing. ParentSquare is not able to change that information, so you will want to reach out to your school. Now, once your school has updated that information, then it will be pulled into ParentSquare and those changes will be made. And you'll also want to check out those student names. If they belong to you, just say yes, and you can confirm at the end that yes, this is indeed me. And then you'll also want to verify and register your account. You will get notifications regardless. So even if you do not register your ParentSquare account, you will still receive those notifications, those text messages, those emails, regardless. But in order to do things like modify your settings, comment on posts, fill out forms, submit attendance notes, and more, you will want to register your account. So registering your ParentSquare account allows you to have access to all the potentials that ParentSquare has to offer so that you can fully interact with your educators and with your greater school community. And of course, once it sends you that code, when you are verifying your information, you will then put in that verification code that you were texted or emailed. You would add that verification code and confirm. Now, just a brief ParentSquare overview here. So ParentSquare is one central tool for all of your school home communication. So this means that all of your communication will be in one place for you. So instead of looking in the bottom of backpacks for crumpled up papers or checking on a bunch of different sites or apps, all of your communication is now going to be in one spot inside of ParentSquare. Now we offer translations, language translations for posts, direct messages, those alerts, you name it, we have those translations for you in over 180 different languages. And I will show you today how to adjust your language preferences as well. Now you are able to engage with your community and your educators by doing things like signing up to volunteer, commenting on posts, filling out permission slips, and more inside of ParentSquare. And lastly, you can receive notifications through text, email, app, and sometimes even voice. You can also go into ParentSquare and actually modify your settings. Now, this is what some of those different modalities look like. So we are going to take a look at both the browser view on the left and the app on the right. So again, predominantly, our families really love to use the mobile app. So that's just a quick sneak peek of what that app is going to look like. And then you'll also see what those email and text notifications look like. So for example, when communication is sent out, you'll receive those texts and those emails, or however you wish to receive, your post notifications, for example. So this is kind of a sneak peek of what those notifications and modalities will look like. And your school does also have attendance enabled. So you will be able to view those attendance notices on the ParentSquare app or on the browser. So this is what that notification will look like via text and email. So it will list the full day that your student is absent. So for example, it will say your student's name was absent on March 27th, for example. And then you can actually click on the link that it's going to provide in the text or in the email to actually send an excuse note. So you're able to send a note explaining the reason for the absence. So this is what that attendance note is going to look like. So this is what it's going to look like on the app if you want to send out those attendance excuse notes. So all of this can be done inside of ParentSquare. And here are just some good to knows. So just keep in mind that you are going to get notifications. So you can think about ParentSquare as replacing those kind of paper flyers. So I know when I was teaching, when we had events coming up, it would be here's a flyer, here's another flyer. So instead of those papers, multiple papers, you will be getting notifications regarding how or regarding when those events are happening or those updates for classrooms and things like that. So you will be getting notifications, but you are able to go into ParentSquare and adjust your notification settings. And you're also able to communicate directly with your students' teachers and other school staff as well. And you will not be able to initiate a message to the principal. But of course, if they are sending you a message, you can always reply to that message and even communicate with any teacher assistants or room parents that might be inside of your classroom. Yeah, so there's a question about regarding attendance, if you can actually upload documents from physicians, for example. So at this time, you cannot upload a document on there, but you can utilize the direct message feature. So we'll look at that later today, where you can actually include a file on there. Yes.
So I just want to jump in. There was a question about uploading information from a doctor or physician, and that's personal information if that's something you choose to send to the teacher that way. But I also recommend continuing to send it into the main office in the nurse in the traditional way you've been sending it in, either mail it in or send an email right to the main office as well.
Thank you. All right. And the bulk of the school communication that is going to come through posts. So you will be receiving those post notifications. This is typically going to be for any announcement about a particular event coming up. Like here we have an upcoming math night, or maybe any updates regarding, your school campus or anything that's going on. Perhaps any celebrations, maybe your school has an award, and any other kind of communication from your school or your district. Now with posts, you are able to sign up to bring items or to volunteer. You can comment and appreciate on posts as well. So just keep in mind that for those comments, other parents aren't able to see those comments. It's just going to go to the post author and the admin, so you are able to ask those questions in there. And just know that comments won't always be an option. So for example, at the district level, you won't be able to comment on those posts, and some other posts you may or may not see the option. But if you do, and you have a question regarding the event, you can always utilize those comments or provide, and some encouragement like, wow, we're so excited for this event, for example. Now with direct messages, so these are going to be great for those quick messages. This is similar to a text message or an email. You can go in there and attach photos, files, and even voice clips, and you can initiate messages and respond. So again, those can be sent to your student's teacher and any other school staff, except for the principal of the school. Now, these are going to be automatically translated for you, just like those posts. And with direct messages, you'll send out the message in your preferred language. The user will receive it in theirs. And once they respond in English, for example, you're going to receive that direct message in the language that you have set up. So all of that happens seamlessly and automatically. Now with posts, I mentioned that there is that two-way communication with our post add-ons and commenting, where you can engage in those posts. But with this third way to communicate with alerts, you cannot engage with the communication. So we have two different types of alerts that you'll see inside of the platform. We have smart alerts. These are for important events like back to school night or early dismissal reminders, things like that. So these are going to be sent to you through email, text, and sometimes voice. Urgent alerts, those are going to be reserved for the most critical and time-sensitive information. So school delays, weather events, safety issues, school closures, that type of thing. So for those urgent alerts, you will receive notifications in every single modality: email, text, app, and voice. All right, so we're going to go ahead and jump into the demo portion of our training. I'm sure you're eager to see the ParentSquare platform. So I'm going to show you both the browser view and the app today. And this is just another plug to download that ParentSquare app. Again, you can do so from this QR code, or you are able to go to your app catalog and you can type in ParentSquare. Alrighty, so here I am on the ParentSquare platform here on the browser, and I am logged in today as a parent. Now in the center here, we have our news feed. So this has all of the posts that you have received, lets you know about lots of different events that are coming up. Again, those announcements, updates, celebrations, those are all going to appear in this news feed. It's very similar to Facebook or Instagram news feed. And you typically have, that most recent post on the top here. Now on the left-hand side, your news feed is going to be automatically selected. Is there a question, Matt? That's okay.
Yeah, sorry, just jump back in. Just going back to posts for a minute. And we had a question from one of our in-room participants. And just another time to reiterate that this is the way, starting July 1, that our schools and district is going to be sending out information. So the question is, will this also be how, if buses are late, snow days, and information like that? And just a note to our families that this is the way, starting July 1, that this is how we are going to notify all of our families of any emergencies, any delays, or any information to celebrate. So from now, starting April 7th till the end of the year, some schools may choose to use this to try it out. Some teachers might choose to use this. So you'll get your alerts the way you have been getting them up to this point. Now, a school might choose to use it to try it out, but the alerts starting January 1 will be all through ParentSquare.
July 1, right?
Starting July 1, yes.
Awesome, thank you, thank you. All right, and then on the left-hand side, we're gonna take a look at this shortly, but this is for your direct messages. So this is where you'll go if you need to send a quick message to your student's teacher, for example, or another staff member, like perhaps the attendance secretary. And then on the left, you're also going to see alerts and notices. So this is where Matthew was mentioning if there is, a snow day or an emergency situation, that will typically be sent out to you via an alert, especially when it comes to an urgent and critical situation. That will be sent out as an urgent alert. And that means that you will get those notice of it in every single modality. So it won't only be in this area, you'll also receive the notification, but I did want to mention how to locate those alerts on here. Now, if you hover over Explore on the left-hand side here, you're able to see your directory, calendar, photos, videos, files, and perhaps any links that your district has set out for you to take a peek at so that you can really easily access those links throughout the year. Now, hovering over Participate here, one important thing to note is this area that says Groups. You can come in here and take a look at those groups like your PTA and athletics and things like that. And any groups that have this green join button, that indicates a public group. So you can always come in here and join the group, or you can click on the group to first browse and see what type of content might be posted to this group. Now I'm going to head back to my home screen here. And on the right, we have a really handy events calendar. This is going to show the next couple of weeks in advance, but you can always choose that View All button to view the greater calendar here. If there's an upcoming event, you can also select the event right here, the hyperlink, and that's going to take you to the corresponding post. Same with all of these add-ons. We're going to take a look at the add-ons from the app, but I do want to show you that, let's say you sign up for an item, you can always monitor that sign up on the right-hand side here. And Matthew did make a quick note here that if you do have children in multiple schools, you can always toggle between the school sites. So here I'm logged in or I'm viewing Beartown High School, but I actually have a student in Lighthouse Elementary. I can easily go into the view for that particular school as well. So you can really easily switch between schools and even districts if you have students in multiple districts. Now, I also want to take a quick peek at our notification settings. So you'll locate your name in the top right-hand corner if you ever need to adjust your notification or your language preferences. We're going to choose My Account. And from here, again, if you need to change any of your account information, like your email or your cell phone number, or even your name, you will need to make those adjustments with your school. And then once they make those adjustments, it will be live inside of ParentSquare. Now for those notifications on the left-hand side, so here in the center area, you are able to adjust how you would like to receive notifications for those posts in particular. So it's going to show you your various schools that you might be associated with, as well as your district. So that will be on there also. So then in that center area, so by default, your notifications are set to digest, and that is the best practice. That's what we recommend. So if your notifications are set to digest, that means that at the end of the day, you are going to receive one notification, one email, for example, with a summary email of all the posts that you have received that day. That's going to come out to you around 6 p.m. So it's so perfect for our busy families. But perhaps you don't want to receive those email notifications. You prefer to receive via text only, for example. You can always come in here and turn off those email notifications or set them to instant. So if you set your notifications to instant here, that means that every time that you receive one of those post notifications, it's going to come to you immediately instead of at the end of the day with our digest. And then in terms of those direct messages, those are going to be sent to you instantly. For school alerts on the right-hand side, you can also toggle to turn those off. These are going to be for those important but non-critical situations. And those urgent alerts will be on for you. That way, when there is an emergency, you will be receiving those notifications. On the left-hand side, we're going to take a quick peek at language settings before I pause for any other questions. So inside of language here, if you want to adjust your language preference, you can choose from over 180 different languages here. And that means that you're going to be receiving those notifications in the other languages. And let's say I did change my language to Spanish, for example. Just keep in mind that you may also need to adjust your phone or your browser settings so that the full interface is translated. Any questions so far before we jump into the app? We'll be checking that Q&A.
Yeah, I think we're good. I've been trying to manage the questions, and if they come in here, I'll let you know.
Awesome. Thanks so much. Alrighty, folks. So this is what our ParentSquare app looks like. So here, just like I did before, at the top here where it says Beartown High School, if I needed to switch and toggle to another school, I can simply select that Lighthouse Elementary from the dropdown. Now, just like we saw on the browser in the center here, you do have that news feed. And if you need to adjust your account preferences, maybe you really love using the app, you don't plan on being in the browser view, you can select the hamburger menu in the top left-hand corner. And from there, you'll see your various students, and you can, view your directory and things like that. And you can even go to those groups to join those athletics, those clubs, those PTA groups there. And if you click on your account settings here, this is where you'll be able to change your notification settings. So you can adjust if you would like to receive those settings via instant, digest, or off. And you can also take a peek at your preferences here. This is going to allow you to do things like change your language settings, just like we saw on the browser. Now, I do want to show you how to interact with a post. So I'm going to go ahead and go to a post here. So this is an art museum field trip that we have coming up. And there are lots of various things that we can interact with on this post. So if I wanted to just send a quick appreciation saying, I see this message, I appreciate it, you'll want to hit that little heart icon in the bottom left-hand side of your screen there. It's going to open up into the post. So if I wanted to appreciate, I'll go ahead and hit that appreciation button. It's going to add that heart. And maybe I'll go ahead and add in a comment as well. Looking forward to this field trip. And this comment is private, so only I am going to see that comment. Only the post author and other, school admin are going to be able to see that. So, you won't have other families being able to see that particular comment. Now, scrolling to the top here, I'm able to see all of the add-ons that have been added onto this particular post. So let's say I wanted to come in here and sign up to do some things. Or maybe I want to bring some items for this teacher, or I want to volunteer. We can take a quick peek at what they are asking for. Always a good idea to take a read of the post first. So here, it's asking me to RSVP that I'm going to the field trip. I need to complete the permission slip by next Monday. And then this teacher is also looking for folks who are interested in being a chaperone for the field trip. And they're requesting some ingredients for sandwiches and bottled water just to keep the costs down. Oops. So first up, I'm able to take a peek at what they are requesting. So maybe I am able to go to Costco and get 100 water bottles. I'm going to go ahead and click on what I want to bring here. And I can choose the quantity. I can even write a short note, like, I'm planning on bringing this brand of water, for example. And I'm going to go ahead and select the Save button at the top. So I can continue down and sign up for other things. So now you'll see that number has been updated. So when another family goes in, they'll be able to see, okay, I have, there's less things to sign up for now. Now for the volunteer positions, if I'm willing to be a chaperone, I'll go ahead and click on that volunteer button. And if I want to sign up to be a chaperone, I will continue on. And I'll say, how many number of spots I'm going to take here. Again, I can write that short note and I'll go ahead and press save at the top. Next up, I do want to go ahead and RSVP for this field trip. So I will select that please respond button. And all I have to do is hit one button if I can attend or not. This one, I'm going to go ahead and say, yes, I will attend. And I can add multiple attendees as well. And lastly, I'm going to go ahead and fill out this form. So I'm going to click on that form button. From here, I will read the form that was sent to me via my admin or my teacher. And I'll go ahead and select. So I have 2 students at the school and 2 students that are a part of this 10th and 11th grade field trip. So I have 2 options to choose from. So I'm going to go ahead and fill this out for Lily first. It's going to pre-populate her information. And I can go ahead and answer the question here. This one asks about allergies. Also going to pre-populate my information, which is super nice. Because it's already listed in ParentSquare, I don't have to list my email yet again, right? It's already here. And then I'm going to go ahead and choose that review and sign button. So once I've reviewed what I'm signing, I'll go ahead and choose that signed document at the bottom. And from here, you'll just apply your electronic signature. Now this signature, you just need to type your name exactly how it appears in ParentSquare. And then I'll choose I approve. Now, because I have two students in this particular grade level, I will go ahead or I do have the option to complete another form here for that student. But if you only had one student in the school or in this particular, group of recipients, it would just be done with it. You wouldn't see this option. You'd just be able to see that completed form. All right, and actually there is one more thing that I can do. So I'm gonna see this little calendar. So this is letting me know when that field trip or that event is taking place. And I can actually add this event directly to my device's calendar. So if I were to select add to my calendar, it's going to allow me to add to my Google Calendar or my ICS or iCal. So it makes it really easy to remember those events. It puts it right in there for you. So super easy. So not only are all of these post add-ons all inside of ParentSquare, they're all on this one post for you. So you don't have to go to multiple websites and apps to fill out that form and RSVP and volunteer to, chaperone the field trip. Any questions about those posts?
So I just wanted to jump on and add that this is going to be used for many different events like this, for school functions, for different types of information. So this was just one example of how it was going to be used, but it's going to be really interactive with the schools. And like I said, this is going to be a trial period, a really early access portion. And then after July 1, this is where all of our schools are going to start to use this. Our leaders, school leaders have had training already. We've also had individuals at schools trained. So you might see some of them starting to use it this year. But if you sign up now, and if your school is one that doesn't choose to do it, you might not see anything until July 1. But this is something that we are offering now. It'd be great to go in, learn a little bit about it as well before July 1 and see how it works. But this field trip was just one example. There could be many that you're going to see throughout the year that our schools are going to be using.
Awesome. Very good point, Matthew. Thank you so much for adding that. Yeah, so if there's any school-wide events, district events, any of those forms, like those media release forms, technology agreements, that type of thing can also be sent out via a post. This use case with a field trip, yes, is just one of many examples that you may see inside of ParentSquare. So let's take a peek at another way to communicate, which is through those direct messages. So that's going to be found at the bottom of the app here. And I do have one message. So it's red there for us with the one. So I'm going to go ahead and click on messages. Okay, so here I'm going to be able to see any of those messages that I have received. So I do have one message from my student's teacher. So I'm going to go ahead and select that message at the top. So this teacher here, they are thanking me for volunteering, which is really, really nice to get that positive feedback in this message here. And I am always able to respond. I can also hit this paperclip icon here. That's going to allow you to include a photo or a file. So I'm going to just go ahead and type a quick response here. Whoops. And I'll go ahead and press the send button to the right. Now, my teacher is currently outside of her office hours. So if I go ahead and press send, she is going to receive that notification. So typically, if this is not an urgent message, we might want to pause and wait until tomorrow to actually send out that message. For our demo purposes, I'm going to go ahead and send this just to show you what it looks like. All right, so this is my response here. And you'll also see this nice little smiley face icon. This is for our direct message reactions. So if you select that little smiley face there, you're able to choose from any number of positive reactions. So I can add a couple there, and then I'll see those lovely reactions. Matthew, was there a question?
Yeah, I just want to jump back on that. This is one of the features that we're really excited about. And I know coming into this year, or even currently, we have schools using multiple platforms like Dojo, Talking Points, and different kind of platforms that you are receiving messages from teachers about. And this is, again, not to continue to say it, but I can't stress it enough that starting July 1, this is the platform that you're going to be hearing from schools and the teachers. So if you've used something like Dojo in the past, ParentSquare is going to be replacing that, and you'll be having that communication through this method that Lauren just shared. And I think you're going to get into sharing with, it will be coming to you in a translated language if you need that as well, so that you can receive it in the language that you would like to read it in.
Yes, absolutely. So let's say, Lucy has her language set to Spanish. Since I send out this message in English, it's going to automatically translate for Lucy, and she's going to receive that message in Spanish if that's how she has it set up. So all of that happens automatically. You don't have to worry about typing a message in English or anything like that. If whatever your language is set to, that's the language you're communicating in, and ParentSquare is going to translate all of that for you. And I do want to show you briefly how to send out a direct message. So let's say, I already have this message thread here. So I can simply reply to Lucy, but let's say I didn't have a message thread started yet. If I need to communicate with the teacher, I can choose that plus sign in the top right corner. And typically you're going to want to send out a direct message. This is going to communicate just with one person, or if you have multiple people, it's going to create a separate message thread for each person. So similar to a BCC on an email. Now, let's say you needed to communicate with 2 staff members and you wanted them to be all in the same group conversation, like a group text, for example. In that case, you would choose a group conversation. I'll go ahead and select direct message for this purpose. And then you can go ahead and type in the user. So if I want to communicate with Lucy, Lucy, for example, it's going to populate some examples here, and I'll simply click on her name and press add in the top right-hand corner. From there, I can go ahead and type in a message here. Thank you for being a great teacher. And I can go ahead and send that out. And it's my most recent message, so it will appear at the top, just like with your standard text messages as well. And even if you don't have the ParentSquare app, if you receive a message from your teacher, for example, you can always reply via text message or email, or on the app or on the browser. You have options.
So I just want to jump in quickly, because I know we moved from the post where it looked like a social media post to talking about communicating with just the teacher. And I just want to stress again, it was a question that was here, that the communication with the teacher is private communication. It's just from the family members to the teacher and the teacher to the family members. So even though it does look like a social media platform on the phone here, it is a private message between teachers and families. Also, I just wanted to share that I know I stated a few times that some schools, this is the kind of early access period, and maybe using it at short them a little bit, versus some schools are diving right in. If you sign up and are accessing the app, we are also sending out district messages now too. So even if it's a school that is a lighter side on the usage, our district is using that a lot now just to practice and get that out. So you will receive messages. Superintendent's update just went out a few days ago on ParentSquare. So we are also trying this out as well. And that is the period of time now that we're using. And a couple people have asked me, why are we starting it now versus in July? Because our goal as a district, and especially in our technology team who is setting this up, is we'd like a few months to see how it works, to try it out and give families that early access to try this out before this is what we're using. So this period of time, you still might be receiving messages the way you have been from your school and your teacher, but this is something moving forward. We wanted to give you an opportunity to try it out. So if you did sign up, you will also receive district messages during this time as well.
Thank you. Yeah, and those district posts, those are going to appear in your newsfeed as well. So here I have this Welcome to ParentSquare post. This came from the district. I can see that it says Hope Springs Central School District at the top. And right below that is the post that was sent out to, my students in 10th and 11th grade. So you're going to be seeing, it's really, really easy to find all of those posts. They're all just there in your newsfeed for you. Both those district and the school posts are going to be in that same newsfeed. Now at the bottom, I also want to duck over into alerts here. So just like we noticed on the browser, this is where you'll go if you are receiving any of those notices here. And you may also see, those alerts here. So for example, this is an urgent alert that I can view. Again, with an urgent alert, this was also sent out via email, text, app, and voice, but it's always nice to be able to take a peek on the app as well. Now in the bottom, we also have our events calendar here where you can go through and add events straight to your personal calendar, just like we did with that field trip post. And then in the bottom right-hand corner, this more option. This is where you'll be able to see things like your directory, where you can take a peek at those. You can also see those links, those photos, groups, and any of those add-ons that you've signed up for. So here for those signups and RSVPs, if I click on it, here I'm able to see that art museum field trip. So this is the field trip that I just signed up for. So these are all the available signups. And then I can choose that My Signups tab at the top. And these are ones that I have signed up for. So it makes it really easy to keep track of. I don't have to go and, locate the post again. But in my signups, I can see, okay, what did I sign up to bring? I want to make sure to do that. And then lastly, and same with forms as well. You can come in here to forms. You can view all of those forms that you need to fill out, as well as the forms that you have filled out. But lastly, I do want to show you how to locate help and support resources. So from the app, you would choose the hamburger menu at the top. And from there, you would select this help icon here. Now, once you select that help icon, it's going to take you to the help resources. And from the browser, you would choose from the question mark in the top, and you would select help articles. From there, there's an area here all for parents and guardians with some really helpful articles that will help you with adjusting your account settings, shifting your language preferences and all of that notifications. That's all in this article. So lots of really helpful resources in here. Or perhaps you need help on a certain feature, you can always come into ParentSquare features and take a look at those resources as well. Alrighty. And that brings us to the end of our kind of official part of our training, but I would love to hear if there's any questions from my in-person folks or my folks joining me online today. Do you have any questions about ParentSquare or want me to go back and show you something else? Please let us know in the Q&A.
I don't see any here, but I do want to share, because we are recording this and we are going to be sending this out, that families are going to be receiving a lot of information between now and the end of the school year, how to sign up. I got some paperwork now that's going to be sent home on how to sign up. You're going to get a copy of this recording as well. And just because this is a one time we're doing this evening, we're going to be doing this many times again over the summer and to start the year off. This is something that's really important to us as a district and really ensuring that our families have this access, because if you really look at our goals, communication with our community is critical and important. We want to celebrate. There's so many great things happening here, and we want to celebrate those as well and keep our families up to date and informed. And this is going to be the platform to do that. So I don't see any questions here. I want to thank you, Lauren. I want to thank our team from New Bedford who came and supported our families as well. And we look forward to a very successful and robust partnership with ParentSquare and our community as well. If you do have questions, you can send them in to me at mjoseph@newbedfordschools.org, and we can try to answer them as quickly as possible. Or if you really want bonus points, you can send me a message on ParentSquare, and I can get back to you through the app and practice using that. If you want to use me as a practice, send me some messages, and we can continue to use that tool as well. So Lauren, thank you very much. Our New Bedford team online and our New Bedford team here, thank you very much for coming in, and we look forward to the continued partnership.
Awesome. Thank you all so
Thanks,
much.
Lauren.
Appreciate you all. Thank you. Thank you.